What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be another Monday ramble, and I didn't not necessarily pre-recorded it, but it's not going to upload until a little after midnight. Just get my last few steps in, just to reach 10,000. Slow day for me in walking. Didn't pay attention to it. Usually I don't, but and I wasn't carrying my phone on me all day because I just don't carry my phone all day. That's I talk about a lot about like steps and stuff like that. Like I do a lot of steps. Usually, but 1 year I average a little over 20,000 steps a day, which isn't that much because you do the average working man who has probably multiple jobs or he works oil fields or whatever. They walk a lot more than that, right? Because they're busy on their feet doing certain things all days for 12 plus hours a day. So you're going to get a bunch of steps in, right? Especially if you're physically active for those jobs and stuff like that. But if you're like some other normal person who doesn't really have a job like that where they're physically demanding to walk a lot or something like that, it could be a struggle for them to get like 10,000 steps, right? You see some of these bodybuilders where they have to make themselves walk to hit that goal. Who was that? Steffi Cohn, power lifter, like one of the stronger women power lifters. She had to force herself to, well, not really force herself, but she had to make sure she kept track of that because she at least had to walk 10,000 steps, right? So, I don't try to worry about it as much, but sometimes when you get obsessed with hitting a certain amount of steps every day, you like, it's almost unhealthy, right? And you might feel like crap, like if you're sick or something, and then you're like, man, now, I didn't hit that goal. And I was like, maybe you were bedridden or something like that. Then obviously you shouldn't sweat it, but for some people it can be, At the end of the day, like I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about, 10,000 steps. At first it seemed like it was a lot, which it can be for some people, right? And you might have been sweating during the day, and all of a sudden you're not sweating anymore because now it became a new average, right? Or just another day for you, and you got used to it. Like your body got used to it and stuff, and you find that you're not really sweating as much and stuff like that. Sometimes that can be a determining factor in if you're trying to, reach a goal too. Like if you're not working and sweating a little bit, at least a little bit, then were you really working at all? Were you even doing something? These are like questions that some people would ask themselves, right? You might walk 20,000 steps this one day, and you didn't sweat it all day because you're just walking constant pace, doing random stuff, normal everyday things, and you didn't really sweat. And then the next day, you might walk 8,000 steps, but you found that you were sweating your butt off because you may have been doing different things or whatever. And I think that day that has less steps, even though you had less steps, you had a better sweat, you had a better process of working the body, then I think that day would be considered more successful because you were sweating a little bit more, I think if you're not sweating, you're not really getting rid of certain toxins out of the bodies and stuff like that, and stuff like that. Some of the crap we put in our bodies stays in there because of, if we're not sweating and stuff like that, I think. And that's kind of like the logic of most tribal groups when they do things that, like Native Americans use a sweat lodge for that kind of stuff to purify the body and the mind and stuff like that, right? They believe that you're getting rid of a lot of that negative energy, a lot of that that bad juju, if you will, just by doing sweat lodges and staying in the sweat and sweating it out, and it's a lot of people don't know that, especially like some res people, right? But it's in the everyday culture that they talk about, the powwows, all that kind of stuff, right? If you're a powwow dancer, you're going to be sweating your butt off dancing all day. If you're a powwow singer, you're going to be I don't know if you ever sat there around a drum and had to drum, your hand does get really tired just drumming. You don't think nothing of it, but it can be a challenge too. You're sitting there singing. You're trying to make sure that you hit the same notes as everybody else. You're drumming and don't miss drum, and if you have to, pound the drum a little bit louder, sometimes those sessions get really intense. You see, especially if they're having like some kind of competition for it. It's awesome to see. I've never really been a part of a drum group, but I did get to drum with a awesome guy from Heart of the Earth. His name was Johnny Smith, and other great people had an uncle. His name was Muckwa Bellinger, is Muckwa, and it means bear in Ojibwe, but he's pretty well known for singing and stuff like that, and he was there, same class as me and stuff like that too. So, but that's probably one of the other exceptions where somebody actually is in the group or something, because everybody else, I don't think we really were like a part of a group. It was just part of the class for them and stuff like that. And this was at Heart of the Earth. It was awesome. I like that class. One of my favorite classes. Johnny Smith is a cool guy. Great, awesome individual. And he did a lot for, the drum and dance and stuff like that through the years, especially down in like the cities. Rest in peace, he passed away I'd say about 3-4 years ago, maybe 5. Might even be a little longer. Time is going by fast for me. The years are just, seems like yesterday for me, but it's not, and stuff like that. But, we sung like the macaroni song and all this kind of stuff, and, my brother jokes around about it, but I like that song. It was like my favorite song that we learned from him and stuff like that. And, we used to get, if you didn't have anything in his class, we would just watch old UFC stuff, because he had the old UFC VHSs and stuff. He would play that. A lot of those people knew my parents because they were either teachers there, or they were like they were related to us, and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome. I want to talk about a little bit about respect, I guess, and during some of those times of prayer, because I got a little story. We were sitting there during prayer time. I don't remember if it was I think it was the beginning of the week, and it was Monday morning. They do it Monday mornings and Friday afternoons. We would gather for prayer. The old language teachers would pray for the school, over the school, for everybody to, do the rest of the learning and stuff like that. And it was Ona Kingbird and Velma, I think it was Velma, but she was the Lakota teacher, and Ona was the Ojibwe instructor. And she was praying anyways, and my cousin was goofing off, and I always tried to not mess around, because, I used to get whipped because I used to fuck around a lot, and then I realized it was starting to make sense to me that what they were doing and stuff like that. But I think this totally shaped how I would sit there for prayer while anybody's praying and stuff like that, and pay respects. He was goofing off and kept trying to talk to me, and I wouldn't talk to him, because I'm like, dude, I'm trying to listen, I'm like, we can fuck around later or whatever, And then his name was Kenny Clark, and he fucking twist my fingers I was like, oh, because it hurt. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then everybody stops because they heard it, And then fucking Ona comes up, it's like, you want to do this prayer? And then like I got in trouble for it, and everybody was pissed at me for it. I was like, this dude twisted my fingers, like, I didn't do nothing. I'm like, oh, this fucking ass monkey, you know? I was pissed. And she, did that, and I was like, I'm sorry, like I apologized, and like, walked away, and she was like pissed, and everybody was pissed, right? And I was mad too, and I was like, fuck, man, wasn't even my fault. And then lunch, they made me stand by the fucking mansion. It's called the mansion out at the I think I was in sixth grade, so it was a little bit different. We didn't get off-campus privileges or anything like that. That's how seventh grade, so they counted the seventh graders part of high school and stuff. And whatever, you got off-campus privileges then, but they made me stand over there, time out for the whole week, and I was like, oh my God, and they didn't believe me no matter what because of that, and I got in trouble, and ever since then I was like, fuck that, I don't care what anybody says, I ain't trying to fuck around during prayers, no matter what religion, no matter what I believe in or anything, I pay respect for that. And even though I don't, even though I wasn't the one fucking around and doing that, I appreciate what they do when they're praying for us, and praying for everybody around and for certain places. And I understood why they did that, but when you're in somebody else's shoes, it's not your fault. It's a different story, right? And stuff like that. But I thought I wanted to share that funny little story about that and stuff like that. So don't mess around during prayer times, man. It's not only sacred, but it's extremely disrespectful, and everybody hates you. It was funny because some of those teachers, like, they were Christians and they didn't, they're Caucasians and stuff like that. So, but they still important. Still important that they enforce those things. Not only just because it was a native lady, but because they understood that prayer is very important, even if they as well don't necessarily believe in that way, and they have their own religious beliefs, but because they know that no matter what, when somebody's speaking to the Creator for those around them, that you shouldn't be fucking goofing out and stuff. And like I said, even though I don't think they weren't me, and it didn't happen to them. So, but like I said, I understood why I got in trouble because I made a commotion about it, and rightfully so for anybody that's goofing off and stuff like that. I guess that just goes to show that if some people are messing with you, best to try to move away from them and stuff like that, and not draw attention. But I will say this though, Ona was already mad at me before that. This is a bonus, I guess. It kind of ties in because we were having pencil wars. We would take turns hitting each other's pencil or whatever until one breaks, and then the winner is the one that broke the other person's pencil. Obviously, you lose if your pencil breaks. My buddy Aaron, he had all the good pencils, those like halfway plastic ones that would bend real easily, but they wouldn't break, and they were pretty good at hitting. Well, he mastered it, but we were breaking pencils, and it was like a group of 6 of us, and she just got mad at me because I'm her cousin, and I should know better. And she told my mom, and my mom got mad, and I was like, everybody was pretty much all us boys are doing it, like most of us, anyways. And I don't care about them. I was like, I know, and neither does Ona. She just got mad at me and didn't say nothing to the rest of them, But like I said, it kind of comes with expectations and stuff like that from some people, because they're like, you're my relative and stuff like that, and we know your mom, and your mom, you know, they cared for my mom too. So they, when she was a little girl, going to that school. So I appreciate the love, but you know, yeah, I shouldn't have been messing with it. And you get older, and you're like, you see the process it takes to make pencils, and you know, these are natural resources. They knock down trees. People risk their lives even just for wood. You know, it's crazy, and you don't think about that stuff when you're a kid. But then again, when it's just the game that everybody's doing, you know, you're in there as well. But you know, next comes the question: if everybody's jumping off a bridge, would you do it? You know, so, hearing that one a lot more lately, and you know, it floated back some of these memories like that and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this Monday ramble, and I hope you guys have a great one. And thank you for tuning in again. You know, I appreciate you guys, and hope you guys have a great week. Peace out, guys.